other podcast.
Hey, y'all, welcome back to another episode of More Than the Title. I'm your host, as usual, Jarrett Thomas, Chief Revenue Officer at Outside the Box Digital. And you know I got my brother, my brethren, your favorite CEO, Chadeo. What's good, baby?
We're in the building, man. You know the motto, man. Grateful and thankful, man. We start off every show the same way. Grateful to be here another day, doing what we love to do, bringing y'all this amazing content. You heard? And we thankful, man. Thanks for all of the supporters and the fans. We about to have a big celebration come next week or so. We got we almost at a 500,000, almost at that 500,000 marker. So we're gonna do something real special. You know what I'm saying? About 6 months on YouTube, and we have officially almost hit the 500,000 views point, man. So that is truly amazing. Thank you again. Thankful for all of the supporters, man, the comments. Shit, we like the good comments. We like the bad comments too, because you know what I'm saying?
That's funny as hell. Yeah, we love y'all. Some of y'all funny as hell.
Hey, man, listen, that's a fact, man. So grateful and thankful, man. We glad to be here, man. We're about to have another amazing show. Let's get it going.
That's it, yo. And shout out to our Instagram community. Shout out to the YouTube. Once again, YouTube, we're doing 80,000 a month, y'all. We about to have our record month this month. And we got a lot of shit lined up for y'all. And we got a great episode with this brother right now, just like we normally do. So you know what I'm saying? So right real quick, because we a little short on time, y'all. So we just gonna go into the shout out to our distribution partners, the Live Podcast Network. First women-owned, black-owned podcast network in the world, and it's the biggest black-owned podcast network in the world. You heard? So if you want more black content from content creators like More Than the Title, just download the app, scan the QR code, make sure you get a subscription, and every subscription goes to your favorite content creators, y'all. So it takes a lot to do this, you know what I'm saying? And we doing it for the people. So we don't just talk and we walk. And shout out to Angel and the entire team, you heard?
Shout out to the boss lady, you heard?
That's it. That's it. With that being said, nigga, I'm ready to pod.
Let's start the show.
I'm ready to pod. I got this brother intro lined up. We don't give him the intro that he deserves, man. First of all, this brother is a trailblazer in the realms of diversity and inclusion. His journey begins in the neighborhoods of Washington Heights and the Bronx to now being the Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer at BBDO, which is one of the biggest agencies in the world. Growing up, this brother navigated complex identity, feeling unseen in his own community, and his early struggle became a driving force in his career where he combined storytelling, business acumen, and creativity to break down barriers and challenge societal norms. This brother is also the executive producer of Yahoo News' Dear Men series and the founder of The Lives of Men. This brother's dedicated himself to reshaping cultural narratives around masculinity, and his work goes beyond conventional boundaries, leveraging design, strategy, and impactful events to foster change for us, the people. So let's introduce this brother, the Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer at BBDO, Mr. Jason Rosario, y'all.
Yo, thank you.
Come on, baby. You earned that. You earned that.
Energy levels is on a trillion right now.
Nah, not yet. Not yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. We just getting warmed up.
Yeah, well, you thought that was energy.
Yo, thank you.
Warmed up, man. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah. No, that's real, man. It's always interesting to hear like your bio and all that read back, and you just gotta sit there and kind of listen to it, and you realize, man, the journey's been real. You know, coming from the Bronx, Washington Heights, and you know, we're not supposed to be here. You know what I mean? And so it's always an honor. It's always an honor, man.
We gotta get into it right off the back. I gotta disagree with you. We supposed to fucking be here.
Right.
The problem is they done program us to thinking that we're not supposed to be there, but we supposed to be here. This is exactly where we supposed to be. Nah. We not downplaying nothing. Nah, we not. This is the year of own your shit, man. For real.
No.
I didn't know you was from the Bronx too, brother. What neighborhood? Because we from the Bronx, bro. And I didn't know that. I had to do my research to get it. He's a Washington Heights.
Said the Heights, right?
Is considered the Bronx?
Yeah, well, I'm Dominican, right? So I grew up between the Bronx and the Heights, but in the Bronx. So I my mom still lives in the Bronx. I'm up on Undercliff, man, off of Sedgwick Ave, 174.
You know what that is? Rough Rider. you know what that is.
Exactly.
Rough Rider. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Shout out to the homie Trav on Instagram. He a Rough Rider too. What up, Trav? What up?
Yeah, man.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was
That
a
was
little
crazy.
crazy, but we still,
Oh
other people.
shit, god damn. Already?
Bro, yeah, no, man. Let's start, because usually we like to tell the story. And for those first time listeners, y'all, we like to tell the story of the brother, and so you can actually understand who the person is behind the title. So you coming from the Bronx, bro, Washington Heights, like what were some early influences that helped lead you to where you are today, bro?
Yeah. So, I think the journey is always starts kind of being aware of your environment, man. And I'm a product of a single parent home, oldest of a total of 7 kids. I have 2 sisters on my dad's side, but really didn't have a father figure growing up, right? And like all of that, comes with a certain experience, right? As a young black man coming up in the hood, and I did all the things. I played ball in college, played ball in high school, and all the things. And I was just like, always had this vision of wanting more for myself and always wanting more for my family. And I always felt this responsibility, right, as being the oldest sibling and a partner to my mom, quite frankly, of just wanting to do whatever I could to get out and get ahead, right? And I knew early on that I wasn't going to make it to the league. Like, we all have hoop dreams or whatever. But, I realized that, perhaps taking another path of school and kind of getting a job was the path for me. And so that took me on a journey, man. And I kind of did all the things that you're expected to do. I went off to undergrad. I went to Buffalo State. Then, came back, started a career in finance. And it was just like, again, trying to get to what you thought is, or what you're taught is success, right? Like you're either going to be a lawyer, a doctor, finance, those types of professions, and so that's what I embarked on, right? Like that's what I saw as success. And so, after a few years in finance, I was like, man, we all get to this point in our lives where we want to try to find our purpose, right? We want to try to find that thing that we were uniquely put on this earth to be and to fulfill. And so that's kind of when I decided to leave that space and I launched the Lives of Men. I was like, you know what? I'm not the only one experiencing, this kind of life or this journey through masculinity as a product of a single parent home. What do other brothers like me, like, what are they going through, and what stories can I share that can connect us, right? You know what I'm saying? And so that was like the inspiration behind that brand. And then, as luck would have it, Me Too happens, right? You all remember what was happening back in 2016, 2017. Me Too happens, and then all of a sudden there's a new conversation about what does it mean to be a good man, right? Specifically, what does it mean to be a good black man? And how does that intersect with this whole conversation around how we show up with the women in our lives and just more broadly in our communities. And so that's when the platform really took off. And then I wound up having that show on Dear Men. And, it was dope because I was having this conversation with Swiss Beats on the show. And Swiss was like, oftentimes, these celebrities, right? Like for their art form, but the dude was super down to earth, super like, humble about his own journey through masculinity, man. And so that to me was like, okay, I did the right thing, because we're none of us, regardless of our paths and our journeys, we're all going through something. I just wanted to document that. So that's the nutshell in terms of how we got to that.
You said something mad impactful too, bro. What does it mean to be a good black man?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, you want to expound on that? What does it mean for you? I would love to, say what that is, and we can go further into the story, bro. What does it mean to be a good black man in 2024, brother, for our community? Man,
listen, that's if I had the answer to that, bro, like I think, we would all be in a different place. I just think it's a journey. I think in the ways that I've defined it, it really is. It starts with just being self-aware, man. Just self-aware of who you are and how you affect the people around you, your community at large, and then really taking the time to understand, yourself, your emotions, right? And being able to articulate those emotions in a way that's healthy, number one. Number two is, we're leaders, right? In our communities as men, we're leaders. We are examples to not just the younger brothers coming up after us, but like, to everybody, right? And so I think it's important to step into that leadership role in a way that's with integrity, you know what I mean? And so integrity is a big part of what it means to be a good black man. And then really just vision, right? Like, we're dreamers, man. Like, look at the platform that you guys created. Look at the things that we've done as a culture. It's really dreaming and using our talents as creatives, as creative people, to create new outcomes for ourselves, man, and in our communities. And so get that aspect of giving back through our creativity is also part of being a good Black man. So it's multi.
Screen baby that one can't zoom past that.
I was gonna give him a, but I wanted to let him finish because he rocking. You know what I'm saying? He partying right now, so I wanted to let him finish because he on track. Now he on track.
That's exactly what it means, bro.
Because he say all that, and I'm just like,
You gotta listen to him. You can learn something.
you know what I'm saying? Like, for us, I keep it very simple. You understand what I'm saying? Self-awareness was perfect, right? You can't be the best for others until you're the best for yourself.
Right.
Message.
You can't be the best for yourself until you truly understand who you are as a person, right? Some of us never take the time to truly understand who we are as individuals. You have to understand who you are as an individual before you can understand what benefit you're going to give to the collective. You understand what I'm saying? So you nailed it with that. You nailed it with that. It's self-awareness. Take the time to learn yourself. Take the time to learn your abilities, learn the things that you're good at and the things that you're not good at also, right? Because that's equally important, right? Me and my cousin talk about this all the time. I'm upfront about it. Like, one of the things I tell him, like, yo, I'm good at a lot of things. I'm not good at spelling. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I tell him, like, but there's no shame. Like, you're not going to be perfect at everything. You're not even going to be good at everything. Some things you're going to be really good at, and some things you're going to need help with, right? But it's when you understand that there's no shame. The things that I'm not good at, I kindly ask for help, humbly, right? And I say to him, yo, I'm not good at this. I need your help, right? Help me to be a better person. See, but that's because I'm self-aware, and for me to ask for help, and we know in the Black community, asking for help is almost like going to a therapist and talking like you got mental issues. It's like taboo asking for help. But these are some of the things we got to get past, right? Learn how to ask for help when you need it. It doesn't hurt you. It makes you a better person overall because you can learn something and become better, right? Yeah. So we got to work on ourselves every day. It's an everyday thing, right? It's not something that just
lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to yourself.
It's a fact, man.
Let me just add something to that, Chad, because I think you're touching on something, man, that I think these things that affect us in our community that prevent us from moving back. Another thing that affects us, right, is in addition to not asking for help, is a crabs in a barrel mentality, right? The idea that I got to on your neck. What's that?
Your audio. Yeah, your audio. Say it again, Jason. Your audio went out a little bit.
I was just saying that another thing that gets in the way of our progress is this crabs in a barrel mentality, right? The idea that I got to stomp on your necks to win. And I'm like, yo, there's enough out here for everybody to win. You know what I'm saying? It's just that we got to collaborate. So to your point, self-awareness, know what you're good at, know what you're not good at, ask for that help, but then understand that, like, yo, I don't have to take from another brother to, like, for me to, like, advance. And I think, unfortunately, you see a lot of that in our community.
Another thing, I think we don't support each other enough to even be able to collaborate with each other.
Right.
Now, like, look at the platform that we created, brother. Like, and for those listening, this is our first time. We met at LinkedIn headquarters, right, in April. And we was doing an event for Black Guys. Shout out to Osas and the entire Black Guy team, right? But there's not too many organizations that are putting us together, bro. And then, I'm out there. We out here. We've got so many amazing guests, and there's so many Black professionals that we want to get in touch with that we just cannot get in touch with. And it's like, man, you would think two brothers that put it all on the line, that bet it all. We could be in corporate America. I told myself I cannot do it. Chad said I cannot do it. We're going to bet on each other, and we're going to get it out. Same way that you did with content, right? You use content as a way to leverage it, build an audience, get control, and now I have leverage because guess what? I know what I'm talking about. Other people know what I'm talking about. I've got proof of concept, all that other stuff, man. So, like, that's what we on right now, man. But it's hard because we don't help each other. Everybody's on that, like you said, crab in the barrel. I don't want you to outshine me. When we just put our shit together, the only way we can shine.
100%. 100%.
Oh, man. But how did content change your life, bro? Because you created the platform and then you got to DEI.
Yeah, I mean, it's all storytelling, man. I think at the end of the day, it's all narratives and storytelling. And if you can tell a compelling story that connects with somebody, I mean, I think that is what I do now on a daily basis, right? Whether it's, helping our creative teams put together a marketing campaign or a commercial, the idea is, what is the story that you want to tell, right? So for me, doing the content stuff, really gave me the basic understanding of, audiences, right? And constructing a story that is compelling, right? So I started with that. And so when I started with the show, you know, going back to that time, remember it was all Me Too. Brands now wanted to start to talk to men in this new language, right? So think about, you know, the brands like Gillette, or I don't want to mention them on the show because I know they don't sponsor the show, but like brands that wanted to talk to men in this new language needed help, right? And so that was like the way I entreed into advertising. So I started to consult with a lot of these brands. But that basic skill of storytelling and understanding audiences and nuance was the entree.
That's real. And Gillette, y'all could easily throw us a bag because black men use shavers. we do all that. Matter of fact, while they watch,
we gotta pay some bills. We'll be right back.
Since we ain't got Gillette as a sponsor, you could go get your More Than a Title cup of your mug. You get your course. Make sure y'all get it right, get it tight, man. If you want to know how to build relationships and revenue and build a brand sort of like how we did with More Than a Title, y'all can go to the website. Or if you just want to support, get you a mug, get you a shirt from mom, pop, something like that. All sizes and flavors. And what keeps your Henny cold for 2 hours but this mug?
You know, I just want to say this, Jason. One of the main reasons me and my cousin are so passionate, right?
Yeah.
About what we do, that it's unbreakable at this point, right? Is because we understand that in our culture, if you don't see it and you don't hear it, you don't believe it. You understand? So when we talk about crabs in the barrel mentality, and when we started, you was like, yo, we're not supposed to be here. That's the reason right there, right? Because they believe, number one, we're not supposed to be here. So, and two, they're not seeing enough of us in the space, right, to say this is possible. They're still looking at us as anomalies, like, yeah, one person made it. You understand? Perfect examples. You said you play ball, right? You play ball in high school, and then you play ball in college, and then you said, I'm not going to make it to the NBA. You see that right off the back, right? It's the disbelief that you can't do something, right? Mm-hmm. Now, take that belief and you add in the factors of now everybody knows there's only a small percentage of people that do make it from college to the NBA. That's how people look at success from an urban lens, right? We're like, yo, it's only going to be a certain amount of us that's going to make it. And with that mentality, it destroys your motivation and your drive, man. It kills it.
Yeah. But I'll say this though, like, I think it's also, and this is our role as leaders, right? As black men, is that we also have to redefine what success is, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean you don't have to get to the league to be successful. You don't have to get, I think success to me is how consistent are you in whatever it is that you're doing, right? It could be this podcast. It could be, mowing lawns for all I care, right? But how consistent are you? And are you taking it seriously enough to build something out of it, right? And I think that's the thing. Like, we need all sorts of professionals. We need all sorts of people that do different things. Success isn't only like, get into a bag and then, wearing certain clothes and then getting out to the club. It's like, unfortunately, that's what we're taught. But success is a lot of different things. To me, success is, can I put food on the table for my family? You know what I mean? Can I take my family on a vacation? Do I have the freedom of mind and spirit to be able to say, I'm going to take all work and it's not like a stressful thing. You know what I mean? Like, that to me is part of defining success differently, yo. And I think we just have in our community, success looks a certain way, and we just have to redefine that. So I think success, right? Like, y'all building this platform, getting to 500,000 views in I don't know how many months, it's successful, yo. Like, y'all built this from scratch, from the mud, and I think that's the part that, unfortunately, with instant gratification, we think that success has to look a certain way, and it doesn't.
That's so real. Shit, if they see the journey, they knew what it takes to build content, things like that, brother. They know, man. And then what you're saying is super real, man. We just got to change the mindset. Mindset is everything with us, man.
I'm gonna say that you both having the courage, and me, right? Like, having the courage to leave a full-time job already is successful, right? To have that freedom of mind to be like, I'm gonna break away from this because I'm gonna double down on myself. I'm gonna bet on myself, and regardless of the outcome, I think that's successful, bro.
It is, man. It is, bro. You can't put a price on us being able to wake up and say, I'm going to figure it out with my cousin. And then guess what? I get to figure it out with my best friend. Even more so, right? So I get to figure it out every single day. And we talk from 9 to 5. We talk. Yo, I just thought of this idea. It might be fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. Yo, we going to get it because business is nonstop. And that's what I love about it. But the fact that I'm going to be able to figure it out with my brother You know what I mean? I can't put a price on that because I done been in corporate America where I was the ¡1 sales rep, where I was bringing in and generating revenue for these brands, and I still don't feel appreciated. And it's like, what do I do with that?
Yeah.
What do I do with that? And you end up going from job to job to job. And then what you end up doing, especially as Black professionals, we just take the titles.
Yeah.
I go to Amazon, I go to LinkedIn, I go to Microsoft, I go over here, I increase my bag by 20% year over year. Cool, fine and dandy. And then what? And then when you get to 45 and 50, and you get a moment like right now where the tech market is shit, and then they don't want to pay $400,000 for that 45-year-old who knows what he's talking about. They're gonna give it the 100,000 to the 28-year-old, and they're gonna give him a shot. And guess what? Now you aged and priced out.
Facts.
But let me piggyback that, because it's not just the tech market, because we talked about that, right? Let's talk about one of the most influential jobs that should be one of the highest paying jobs in America that's actually borderline middle class, which is being a teacher. That's exactly what happens to veteran teachers every single day. You get a veteran teacher that's been there 15, 16 years, they're maxed out in pay. And if they want to move to a new school or do a new program, you know what they're going to say? I can get 3 teachers for the price of just you. And they will sacrifice the somebody that is a veteran, that has the experience, that has the information and the skills to get it done at a different level for lower people because of a monetary value. So it's not just tech. Like this is the message that we're actually sending to our culture on a daily basis.
Yeah. Listen, man, I think y'all are touching on something that, you know, I don't want to get into a whole conversation about capitalism and the ills of it, right? Because I think that's just, at the end of the day, all of us are capitalists, right? We are in that system, and so we want to get to it, right? We want to get to the bag. But I think there's multiple ways to get to the bag, right? And I think the idea that you're going to have a job and you're going to go to that job and you're going to get paid, and then you're going to work in that job for, I don't know, 30 years, 40 years, and then have quote unquote security. There ain't no security in that, man. It's like what you just said, like they churn you out, right? And it's about, their job is about getting the best labor at the lowest cost, right? And as soon as they get that from you and you're dispensable, then you're gone. So I think the ultimate power is building our own things, you know. And I think that's overstated, right? I think a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, I want to start a business, I want to do my own thing," but they don't understand how hard that is, man. It's like people glorify this being an entrepreneur, but what happens on those nights where, you know, the deals aren't coming through, the revenue isn't coming through? Like, what do you do then? And I think that's the work. So it's just a matter of, you know, choice. Make a choice. Like, choose your hard. It's gonna be hard anyway. But which hard do you want? Do you want the hard of building something for yourself, or you want the hard of having to deal with the politics and the lack of promotions and the layoffs and all of that stuff? So it's
Pause.
We didn't want to stop. Which hard do you want?
Which hard, and choose your hard. I let you kind of finish the thought, but I ain't gonna lie. That shit.
We're gonna clip everything up before that. Then we're gonna have a clip with this.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It was
I should have said choose your difficult.
That makes sense. Instagram is going nuts right now.
Yo, the monologue was phenomenal, but even Instagram said, even Sean from Instagram said, yeah, that was wild. That was wild. Instagram, they love it, man. They love it. Now, like you said, we talk about the courage, Jason. And we talk about courage. We should just have courage in all things, man. You understand what I'm saying? And it starts with, like I said, just believing in yourself, right? Once you believe in yourself, and again, it goes back to knowing yourself, then you should know that whatever lane that you're going to go down, you'll be successful, right? Because there are a million ways to be successful. You can be successful in the same way that somebody else was successful and recreate that success, or you can pave your own lane that nobody's ever done it before. You understand what I'm saying? So, but that takes for you to have that courage within yourself, right? And say, I believe in myself. And like you said, listen, it's going to be difficult regardless. Mm-hmm. So let me do it my way. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, shoot your shot, man. And also, I would say anybody listening, have the courage to shoot the shot and go for what you want, man. Right. Shoot the shot. Like for us, if you look at us in the podcast and you look at the people that we've had on, I would say 90% or 95% of the people we have on, this is our first conversation. Straight up, right? On the podcast, and I try to minimize our interaction before then. I don't want you to tell me a story. I don't know nothing. Just when you pull up, and we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna have a great fucking time. But like, I like to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I shoot the shot. Sometimes some interviews took us 2 years to get.
Wow,
2 years to get. But guess what? I'm a salesperson. But I'm gonna keep shooting our shot. We're gonna keep shooting our shot, and we're gonna build, man. And that's what we're gonna do. So have that courage. We from the same blocks as y'all. I'm in Parkchester right now. I'm in the Bronx. We out here. We outside. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's hearing that, yo, anything is possible. You're seeing what we have. Build it. Yes, are there tough days? There's some days I might not motherfucking sleep. But guess what? Is it worth it? Hell yeah, to be able to speak to brothers like Jason, be able to build a relationship and say, you know what? When something pops off and we get this to the level we want, we're gonna bring Jason to the block. We're gonna bring Walt to the block, and you're gonna see successful black men who are in corporate America navigating this shit successfully.
Yeah, man. Yo, let me ask y'all a question. Okay, good.
No, I was just gonna say, Jason, you know what you do, and we like to have so much of a variety of talent come on this show, right? You could actually be doing something that nobody, you know how many guests we've had on the show that are super successful, again, in an area where people's like, yo, you can actually do that and make money from that? Like, that's actually a job.
Yeah.
You understand? Because like you said, the doctor, the lawyer, the police, CO, PO, you're taught the most basic things, you understand, but you're not taught you can be successful in a million different things, right? So when we bring, guests like you on the show that said, listen, this is what I do. There's a lot of people that probably share your same passion, that have your same talent and want to build on it and never knew that they could actually be successful in doing that. So it's very important that we bring guests like you on the show to show that diversity. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
I think, so I guess, let me just share with folks what it is that I do so that people know, right? Like at the core, so I work for BBDO, which is, a legacy advertising agency. And what we do is at the very core is we create marketing and communications campaigns for the brands that we work with, right? So think of any commercial that you've seen, for example, for AT&T, or any commercial that you've seen for Home Depot or for FedEx. Those are our clients. That's what we do. Whether it's a billboard, whether it's a commercial on TV, whether it's a print ad, that is what we do. And so for people who are, if you have some young folks tuned in that are, to your point, Chad, trying to figure out like how do I do that, right? Like how you make commercials? Like what does that mean? There's really two ways to get to this industry, right? There is the creative side, right? Which is, are you a creative mind? Can you think creatively around connecting businesses with audiences? Are you a great writer, right? Like all of that requires great writing, right? Like when you're doing a commercial, all of that requires great writing. Are you a great cinematographer? All of that. So there's that creative side of it. Then there's the business side of it, right? Are you good with clients, right? Are you good with selling things, right? I would say that in our community, we're really good at selling things, right? Like that is what we do every day, right? For survival, even sometimes, right? So are you good at selling things? Are you good at building a clientele? So those are the two ways to get into the industry. But the point is, people make a lot of money in advertising, right? And it's and I think people are surprised and taken aback by the fact that, you mean I could get to the bag by just being creative? Yeah, you can, right? And people will pay you top dollar for that. It's just a matter of, finding your way into the industry. And I think that's the hardest part.
Yeah, man. We got a couple comments. June from Instagram said, you got to always be willing to take your shot no matter what, because if you don't, one thing is guaranteed, you'll never even bother to try, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, once again, it goes into the, the killing your motivation. And Shauna said, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need this talk in the school systems. And I agree with her 200%. This is what we're talking about. Like, look at the curriculum at what they're teaching us in school, but more importantly, look at the curriculum of what they're not teaching us in school. Message. And that is not only equally as important, but sometimes I feel like more important, because Why are they not teaching us the necessary tools to navigate the world in a changing climate? You cannot keep teaching us the same exact things that might have worked 40, 50 years ago. This is not 40, 50 years ago. Economics is different, the social, everything's different. So the school system needs to constantly evolve, right? And keep coming up with these new programs and evolving their teachings to teach the generations that are coming up in the current space and have them be able to navigate what's going on. You understand what I'm saying, properly? And I agree with that 100%.
That's why it's a big disconnect, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious for you, Jason. Like, how did you break into the industry? Because most Black professionals that I speak with, bro, or we speak with, or just like randomly in the industry, I broke into the tech industry by luck. I just happened to bump into that motherfucker. It was like, oh shit, you can make this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the problem. Like, I was literally, a recruiter hit me up, and the next thing you know, I'm making a salary, and we moved up. I was one of the first employees at Cannes. I didn't know what Cannes was, bro. I'm sitting there thinking it was the film festival. I was one of the first Black employees like this at Cannes. I'm like, holy shit, this is something different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was like, how did you break in, bro? Like, I love to hear that. And what advice would you give to anybody listening right now to get in this industry, to get to the bag?
Yeah. So a couple things. I'm as non-traditional as it comes when it came to, just trying to be like getting into this industry. So my path is a little bit different. Let me just offer you some like industry organizations that I think that's probably the easiest path, right? Yeah. There's an organization called MAIP, MAIP. It's the I forgot what it stands for, but it's an internship program by a foundation called the 4 A's. And it's specifically for people of color wanting to be in the industry. I would say that's probably the most successful and the easiest route into the industry, because what they do is they give people internships with both agencies and brands in the space. So if you can get into the MAIP program, that's probably the easiest route to take. So through the 4 A's. Then there's the Miami Ad School. It's based in Miami, but they have other locations as well. But Miami Ad School is a great program that gives you access to the industry and helps you build a portfolio. That you have to pay for. But then there's a free program called the One School for Creativity. The One School for Creativity is a great program. It's how 2 of my siblings actually got into the industry. They were busting tables at Soho House. They got into the program, and they're now both working at agencies. One of my sisters is at Ogilvy. She's an art director. We just won a Cannes Lion, which is crazy.
Oh, what? Oh, fine. Yeah. Hold on. Man, we got to get that horn. Hold on. They went from the Soho House to winning a Cannes Lion. Hold on.
So the point is that that program is free, and they help you build out a portfolio that you can then take to different agencies. So those are some free examples or whatever.
Wait, hold on, Jason. What was that second program you said? What was the second program you said?
So I said MAIP.
I got the MAIP. What was the second one?
Miami Ad School, Ad School,
and One School for Creativity.
And the One School for Creativity.
The One School, right?
Yeah. And you can find all of those online.
Yeah, we put it in the chat for the people. We have to.
Yeah. And then as far as how I got in, man, I think it was just like I said. I was doing the Lives of Men stuff full time. I was doing the content stuff. And then I got connected with the folks at Ad Color. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Ad Color. Yeah,
we need Tiffany on the show. Tiffany, if you hear this, we need you on the show.
Got to get Tiff, and she's a great friend. So I'm gonna let her know. If you reach out to her, I'm gonna text her on the side, be like, "Yo, you need to get involved." And I think you had Doug Melville on the show.
Yeah, he literally just texted me 2 minutes ago. Doug. Shout out to Doug.
Yeah, Doug is bro. Doug is the homie. So yeah, I mean, I think you got to get Tiff on there, because she's a legend in the game, man. Like, so she invited me to Ad Color back in 2019, right before the pandemic. And I just attended. She was like, I want you to do one of these masculinity workshops, and I think it's just one of those things where, like, just show me where it's like you could take the horse to water, right? Like, just show me where it's at, and then let me do the rest. And so that's exactly what she did. And then the rest was history. And then so fast forward to 2020, after unfortunately George Floyd happened, I get the call from BBDO, and you take that call, and they were like, "Yo, we've heard about your work. Would you be willing to lead this work for us?" And I was like, "All right, let's talk." So that's the short story of it.
Well, now I gotta ask you the real question, because we almost coming up on time. How has the conversation changed from then to now? And how do you prove business impact with diversity? Because I see the comments, I see the fucking articles, and they're talking about, you know, now as us, as like your role in particular, is how do we show that diversity is good for business?
Yeah, well, that's the $1 million question right there, Jared. I mean, I think, you know, we knew that this was going to be cyclical, right? We knew that there was going to come in time where they were going to take the money off the table, right? Like coming off of 2020, they were like, yo, everybody was rushing to get in, hire diversity officers, etc. But we knew that it was going to change. I think the biggest thing, and this is just what I tell our clients every day, look at demographics, right? Demographics are shifting. The majority of the United States right now is younger than 35. Well, it's going to be younger than 35 in a couple years, but it's already brown. It's browner. It's more brown than it is white people, right? So we are the new majority, right? So when you think about brands, what they want to do is sell more product and get more clients. Well, you need to make sure that you're inclusive because the future consumer is already diverse. So that's facts, right? Like there's no competing on that. There's no debating that. So I think that's really the narrative is, if you want to do this, if you want to make more money in the future, diversity is not just, you know, doing the right thing and hiring some people. Like, yes, it's all of that, but it really is about making money in the future. And so I think that's where we have the conversation.
That's it. It's finding who is the best person for the job, regardless of anything, right?
Yep.
Do we all have a fair shake? Will we have a fair shake? And if you put us in those roles, will we be allowed and have the resources or the same opportunities as others who had the role previously?
Yeah. Before we get too far, for everybody that we give out this information and we want you to go to the right place. This is, if you go to the website, this is the MAPE school right here, right? For the 4 A's, right? You go there. This is what the website looks like. You go ahead and, check this out, man. Give it a look at, register, see what kind of resources they have. And even if it doesn't work for you, if you know somebody that would be great for this program or, that can utilize this, man, send it to them, man. And this is the other one right here, man. The One School for Creativity. Once again, right? Check it out. If you know somebody that needs the information, please spread the information, because this is what this show is about, right? Giving out the information and the resources so that we have the tools available to us to do better.
That's it. And we on social media anyway. You're on posting every single day. You know more than you lead on, right? We got people that's doing, if you're doing flyers for your homie, for clubs, if you're doing this, that, like mixtape covers, artist covers, anything like that, you can make a bag by coming into this industry. You're a great writer, you're a rapper, you can make a jingle. There's so many entry points into this industry that you can make a bag, y'all. Just look into it.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. It's crazy, y'all. I mean, what I was going to say deep, but how do you prove that though? Because I'm thinking about that. You said like the diversity, right? Is good. You saying you can bring the audiences, but still, most of the times when we're making those use cases or making the business use case, the people that we're talking to don't look like us. So how does that get through? How have you been able to navigate that, bro, and still be able to get the good ideas across and show that this is it?
Money talks, man. Money talks. I think at the end of the day, so you mentioned earlier about hiring the right person for the job. Mm-hmm. We got to understand that we don't work for I work for a for-profit company, right? Yeah. Like there are people that do what I do at nonprofits. That's a different conversation. But for me, I work for a for-profit business. And so their fundamental job is to make more money, right? So if you want to make more money and the future consumer looks a certain way, then it starts there. And then from there, it's like, okay, so if you want to talk to Black consumers, right, between the age of 25 to 35, where are these consumers? What do they care about? What content are they consuming? So for me, my job is to bring that to the table and shape that narrative. On top of the fact that I'm that consumer, right? I come from that community, so I understand that language. So it's part of like really helping them understand what that looks like and how they can shape a narrative that's going to land in that culture authentically. So that's where it starts. And I can't expect them to just hire because it's the right thing to do. I gotta couch this in the language of business, right? So I can't just be like, yo, you gotta hire X number of Black people, X number of Latinos, Latin people, because you need more of them in the room. They don't care about that. Like at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck about that. They care about the green. That's the only color they care about. And if you can connect how much spending power these communities have and how much that means to the survival of their business, then you're cooking with grease at that point.
So is there one example you could share with us where you had to bring something to the table and made them look at something differently that you could share with us, bro?
100%. I'm gonna try to leave it the brand name out, but I was doing a new business pitch for our team in Canada, right? Mm-hmm. So for a lot of people, they don't know that Canada, Toronto, and that region, Ontario, is the most diverse province in the world, right? So from a demographic standpoint, but also from a gender standpoint. So when we went into the pitch, or before, as we were preparing for the pitch, there was nothing in the pitch that required any diversity conversation. So I was like, yo, why don't we bring this to the table as an additional strategic territory that we can think about, right, for the brand? So we laid it out, and it was like, yo, that won us the pitch, because it was like, how could you not talk about diversity in the most diverse province in Canada as a business imperative? And so that won us, you know, not only did it double the revenue in that regard, it went from, like, I think the initial pitch was for like 10 million. We won a $30 million pitch just because we added that insight into the conversation. And it was just like, man, it just blew it out the water. So, you know,
30 million?
He said 10 to 30, 10 million
from 10 to 30.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, it was just simply making the case that, yo, you could be expanding your market share just by being more inclusive.
I'm not being funny, Jason. Jason, I'm not being funny, but I wouldn't be me if I didn't say it. Like, what's the purpose of going to school and learning all these fucking this information? You go to school 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 fucking years, right? You get your bachelor's, your master's, your PhD, and all these motherfuckers sit up top. How can you be so smart and so fucking stupid at the same time? I don't care. My thing is, I don't care. Like, if you're gonna hold yourself to a certain standard, then I'm gonna hold you to that standard, right? So if you're super intelligent, you got all these fucking degrees and you've studied, right? Because I went to college and I've studied, so I understand the courses in microeconomics, macro. Yeah. I understand the courses that take you to get these degrees, right? You have to study certain things, diversity, all of this stuff. Yeah. How do you now get a job and run these companies and then forget about every fucking thing? And then when somebody bring it to you, you got the stupid face. You got the
how is it not even included? How's it not thought of?
How is it not a thought? Like, unless you don't want it to be a thought, unless you know that's what you need to do, but the ulterior motive is to try to do it and not include us. See, you stop straddling the fence. It's just stand on the side. And the problem is they want our money. They want to take the value from our culture. They want to take the influence from our culture. They just don't want to support our culture.
100%. Yo,
that's
someone
what it is.
Said, I think there was an ad, actually. I think it was one of the Nike ads. No, actually with Beats. Beats by translation of this word. It's called "You Don't Love Us." I'm gonna challenge everybody to, like, Google that piece of work. Yo, that work essentially said, you don't love us. You love our culture, but you don't love us. And I think that's exactly what you just said, Chad. And I think the other part of it is there's a difference to your point about why go to school and all this stuff. It's like there's a difference between being book smart and then actually being intelligent and being like and having common sense. A lot of these people don't have common sense. They might have the Yale degrees, the Cornell degrees and all that, but the common sense of being able to connect where's the money, where's the influence to the culture, and then bringing those two worlds together. It's just like, yo, but I think what happens is you get caught up in the machine, right? Like, these corporations are about making money, and they don't care about the nuances of how that money is made. They just want to make it, you know? And so I think a lot of this narrative around culture and around doing the right thing is lost in that process.
You ain't lying, man.
You know what I mean?
Shit.
But one of the main things college teaches you is critical thinking. Yes or no?
No, I'm gonna argue that it doesn't.
I'm gonna argue that because I say it enforces critical thinking.
It doesn't. They give you information. No, bro. They give you information. Okay. They give you these books. They give you these tests, but they don't know. They don't teach you how to use the information. I'm gonna tell you like this. Okay. I'm gonna tell you like this. I went to undergrad.
Okay.
At Buffalo State. I went to grad at NYU.
Okay.
And I tell you that after I left those places, in the world, right, as I'm doing jobs, as I'm talking to people and growing in my career, is when I started to connect the books, the academics that I learned in those places. But it wasn't in those places. Like, yeah, it's helpful to know frameworks and theory and all that stuff. But until you're in a situation where you got to apply it, when you're in a boardroom and you got to call bullshit on somebody and you got to back it up with some of the shit that you learned in school, that's when the education comes in handy. But in school, they're not teaching you how to use the information. They're just giving you the information. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. My opinion, right? Like it could be, you know,
listen,
people.
It's a great argument. And in my business degree courses, they didn't teach that, but I'm also an engineer. In engineering, they teach that, because after we do the theory in the class, let's say we learn how to build a house, we actually have to build the fucking house.
Right.
You understand? Like in the class, and not only build the house, but it's like, okay, you built this house, you got to build it this big based on the dimensions, and then stand on top of it or put a certain amount of weight. So they teach you, like, if this shit doesn't work in real time, you fail the entire course. Like, you got to understand how to work through things. So maybe it's the engineering side of me that, you know, when I took that made me say that. But, you know, I just feel like it's a cross between two worlds, right? They want you to have the education as the entryway into the job, right? Can we agree to that?
Yeah,
most jobs, they want you to have a certain level of education to even begin to start your journey. But then the other side is, a lot of the jobs also want you to have the real-time experience. So let me get it. So if I don't have the education, is the real-time experience not as valuable? I think it's more valuable. I think it's more valuable, right? Because guess what I did learn? All the shit I learned in business class and all that, when I got to school and started running businesses, you know what they said? Forget everything you learned in school. We're going to teach you how to do it this way.
Facts. That's exactly it. So that I love that you said that, because now that connects back to what we were talking about with all these programs that we just talked about. The one school, for example, or let me just backtrack. In advertising, people should know this. In advertising and in tech in general, the trend has been to remove the degree requirements for you to get a job. So now you don't necessarily need a degree to get a job at any of these places, Google, Microsoft, whatever. That's a good thing, right? But you do need to be able to be smart, and to your point, have that practical knowledge. So that's where, you know, programs like the One School come in, right? Because now the One School is actually giving you the tools that you're going to need on day one. It's not just theory. It's like, we're going to teach you how to build this plane so that you can build the plane on day one. And so that's where I think I'm encouraging anybody that's listening, if you're debating whether to go to college or do like some sort of trade school, go do the trade school. Because the knowledge stuff, especially nowadays, you got Google, you have AI, you have all these schools putting their programs up for free online. You can do that later, but get the practical knowledge as soon as you can. That's going to help you do the job on day one.
That's a fact. And also build a brand. If you want to be able to differentiate yourself, especially in tech as a Black professional, build a brand. Like you said, you created the show, right? And now you have the leverage, and people are coming to you, like Tiffany Warren, all those people are coming to you for the opportunities. Create the brand, man. You have to leverage. Too little of us have the brand, and we have the sauce. We have the sauce. You know, when so many people told me about LinkedIn, man, you can't go on LinkedIn with a fucking hat and hoodie. 5 million views later, I was the only motherfucker with a hat and hoodie. You know what I'm saying? And then it worked out for us, bro. So that you can also build a brand in so many different avenues. And I want to ask you before we leave out too, bro.
Yeah.
What is the most difficult challenge that you've experienced in corporate America? I know for me, I had to cut my hand for raises. I've got fired twice or 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is one of the most difficult challenges you faced? How'd you overcome it, bro?
Bro, trust in myself. Full stop. I believe in that so much that I tattooed it on my thumb here. Trust in myself. And what do I mean by that? You know, we spend so much time, you know, growing up in our lives, being taught, to your point earlier, Chad, when we first started talking, that we're not supposed to be there, right? That we should be grateful to have been given the crumbs of a job. And I think if I would have known earlier on that I am, not only am I super smart, I'm super talented, and I'm more than capable to be in these rooms. If I would have known that 10 years before my career, I would have been, I don't know where I would be, but it'd be much more advanced than now, right? So I say that because I think the biggest challenge for me was believing that I belonged in those rooms and that I can call bullshit out on things that perhaps, you know, I was taught that, or I was led to believe that I shouldn't be, you know, speaking on. So I think it's just trusting myself, you know, early on would have probably been the biggest thing.
That's real. That's real. That's real, man. I know we coming up on time, man. Like I ain't gonna for you, Jay. We gotta do it in person.
No, let's do this in person. Let's do this again, man, because I think
we gotta do it.
We can talk about for sure.
Yeah, now we gotta get to the shits, man. We're gonna have a little cup, we're gonna have a little glass, and we're gonna talk, we're gonna chop it, man. But bro, just wanna let you know, as another black man, bro, like we've seen you, we met you in person, bro. But I've also we've been connected for a while. I just realized that as well, bro. And I've seen a lot of things that you've done, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Appreciate that, man.
We need to see this shit.
And likewise for y'all, man. I know that this content game is real. You know, as someone who's done it, man, I know it's a grind. I know that, you know, you got to be consistent, right? Like your audience demands that you're consistent, that you're doing this on the regular, that you don't drop the ball, that the quality is high, that the conversations are relevant. So you have a lot to think about as content creators, man, and not to mention the cost of getting cameras, getting microphones, editing videos, paying for the platforms, all of that, man. So it's not easy, man. I think people see the outcomes of it in the finished product, but they don't know what goes into it, man. So kudos to y'all in what you're building.
Mean a lot, bro. This shit is a lot. Shit is a lot, man. I ain't gonna hold you. Where's my Jordan face? That shit is a lot, man. We put in a lot, man. But you already know, man. We do it for y'all, man. Shout out to everybody on the check-in. Shout out to everybody on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, man. We love y'all. We do this for the culture, man. It was a dope episode. A lot of gems in there. You know, we're gonna have some clips for y'all tomorrow, man.
Indeed.
Listen, and I'm gonna leave you guys off on this, man. As a people, right? As a people, we need to start taking more pride in ourselves, right? Taking pride in your abilities, right? Stop downplaying your importance. Stop downplaying who you are as a person just because somebody else is not on the same level, right? Don't let your confidence be somebody else's insecurity and then you try to match it. Stop doing that. You understand what I'm saying? Stop trying to meet people where they are. If you at a higher level and you feel like you at a certain level, then have people start upgrading to meet you where you are, man. Stop downgrading to meet somebody else because all you're doing is being a detriment to yourself. So believe that. We out of here, man. More than the title.
On that, no, we out of here.